The 7 most brutal punishments in the history of mankind. Number 7. The breaking wheel. The breaking wheel was used during the Middle Ages to punish evil criminals such as murderers and traitors. The punishment was that the criminal was tied to a large wooden wheel, and an executioner would break his limbs with an iron hammer. The criminal would have suffered a lot of pain and suffering, and slowly died from the impact of that tool. This brutal punishment was intended to cause intense pain and a slow death for the condemned individual. Sometimes, the executioner would end the criminal's life with a final blow or beheading. Their broken bodies were displayed on a pole as a warning to others. However, it remains a grim symbol of medieval barbarism in the history of punishment. Number 6. Impalement. Impalement is a brutal and gruesome form of punishment and execution that has been used at various points in history and across different cultures. It is a gruesome method of killing a person by piercing his body with a narrow, sharp object, such as a stick, pole, or spear. It was mainly used for treason, robbery, and murder in ancient and medieval times. The impalement punishment is to insert the spear through the sufferer's anus, or lower abdomen, and push it up until it exits the chest, face, or shoulder. In this punishment, the victim suffers intense pain and bleeds slowly, which sometimes lasts for days. However, today, the impalement is universally condemned and considered a barbaric historical relic. Number 5. Flaying. Flaying punishment was historically a gruesome method of execution or torture that involved removing a person's skin. This punishment is to separate the skin from the face or any part of the body of a living person with a knife or other sharp object. The complainant will experience excruciating pain, bleed profusely, and slowly die. Flaying was originally used in different parts of the world, including Africa, Europe, and Asia in ancient times. This punishment was used to punish traitors, rebels, and enemies, with their skinless bodies displayed as a warning or insult. Number 4. Sawing in half. Sawing in half as a punishment is a gruesome and archaic form of execution that uses a large saw to split a live person's body vertically down the middle. In medieval Europe and ancient Persia, this punishment was extremely painful and cruel. This punishment is characterized by extreme brutality and is designed to inflict excruciating pain and suffering on the condemned individual. It often served as a public spectacle, intended to deter others from committing similar crimes through the sheer horror of the punishment. Number 3. The Judas Cradle. The Judas Cradle, invented in the Middle Ages, is a brutal torture device consisting of a metal pyramid with a sharp point on top. Criminals were stripped, tied with ropes, and placed on the pyramids. The pointed edge of the pyramid was slowly inserted in the anus of the victim, and the torture could continue for a few hours to an entire day. The time, however, also varied from victim to victim, depending on various factors other than their own ability to bear the pain. Sometimes a weight was added to the victim's legs, which increased the pain, but also resulted in a quicker death. Other times, oil was put on the device, which again increased the pain. Number 2. The garrote. The garrote was a method of execution that was used for centuries in Spain and other countries. It was primarily used for treason and espionage crimes, as a way to punish those who were seen as threats to the state or national security. The garrote was a brutal device, used to strangulate a person with a rope, or wire attached to a wooden chair with an iron collar. The sharp point pierced the spine, neck, and throat, causing severe pain, suffocation, and death. The punishment was considered cruel and painful. Number 1. Brazen Bull. The brazen bull was a gruesome and tragic instrument of punishment used in ancient Greece and later adopted by the Romans. The Romans, known for their brutal treatment of Christians, also utilized brazen bulls as a means of torture and execution. It was a metal sculpture of a bull, with a door on one side for the entrance of the condemned. After the condemned person was inserted, a fire was lit under the bull, and as the temperature rose, the person inside was burned and suffocated to death in excruciating pain. Understanding the historical context of the brazen bull helps to highlight its significance as a symbol of cruelty and barbarism throughout history.